Hello and welcome to Sportsmile's World Cup discussion show. I'm Matt. Joining me today I have Liam, Barney and Pascal. Barney, there's only one place to start, the 2-1 defeat to Italy. It was a defeat, but there was a lot of positivity about it. Do you share the positivities around it?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about it now. I think it's the brightest we've seen England for a while, particularly in a major tournament. I mean, 2 years ago and in South Africa it was dull to watch, it was dreary, but this was a good performance. I mean, I would have preferred that result and performance than the one we had against Italy 2 years ago in Kiev when we drew 0-0, went out on penalties. Sterling was a breath of fresh air to the England team. I think he injected pace into the attack and it was just a lot better than we have seen for a while from England.
Pascal, a lot of positivities in Barney. Do you think there was a certain amount of maybe naivety to their performance? I mean, it was very attacking, but do you think they were cute enough to deal with the Italians coming forward?
I thought we were really good. I mean, we more than matched the Italians, I thought, and we just got outdone by two brilliant goals. I mean, it was such a well-worked corner for Marchisio, and then the cross and finish and run, and the way Balotelli peeled off and headed, it was just brilliant. They were two brilliant goals, and we just couldn't. We scored a brilliant goal as well, but we couldn't score a second. I thought we more than matched Italy, especially in the first half. We looked like one of the better teams at the World Cup so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's plenty of reason for optimism around England.
Liam, I think these two guys' views has been shared by a lot of the public. I mean, there's been a lot of it was a defeat, but it was a different defeat, isn't it? In the past, it's been doom and gloom, but now it's been a lot of positivity going forward. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, because I think it's the way they played. They were attack-minded, maybe a little naive at times, but I think the public would rather see an England side play that way than, like Barney used that example in Kiev 2 years ago. It was dull, it was dreary, and it played into the Italians' hands. There were times where they worried the Italians, especially in the first half. I thought the second half Italy had a bit more control, but it was just a more positive attacking performance, which we haven't seen from England for a long time.
Barney, the situation with Wayne Rooney continues to boil on. It was talked about before the tournament a lot, more so now ahead of the Uruguay game. What did you make of his overall performance?
I thought he was poor, to be honest. I mean, the assist for the goal was really good, yeah, but his overall performance, I mean, when he started on the left, he didn't give Baines any help, and down the right was where Italy had all their joy. They absolutely dominated us down that wing. I think he didn't really affect the game as Wayne Rooney should. I mean, I think if he's playing, he needs to be in a central role. And for me, if in a choice between him, Sterling and Sturridge at the moment, Rooney comes third. He loses.
Pascal, would you drop Rooney for the Uruguay game?
It's so close. I'm not quite sure yet. I mean, I think it was a weird choice to play Sterling in the middle. If you're going to start Rooney, I think he's got to play in the middle. And I know Sterling was brilliant in the centre, but his pace, you think he might have had a similar effect out on the wing, going past players. So I think it was a really odd choice to start Rooney central. And I think there's definitely a case to drop him against Uruguay. I mean, Barkley came on and again looked quite exciting. But is he defensively sound and sort of mentally there, like defensively to start? I'm not sure.
Liam, Wayne Rooney to me is a centre forward. He's a striker. He's a number 9. He's not a left winger. He's not a right winger. They've been talking about central midfield in some quarters. His best season for Manchester United was through the middle. Everything went through him. He scored a lot of goals. He was the main man. He needs to feel like he's the main man. A lot of players are like that. Would you make a case for me? I would move Sturridge out wide. It is accommodating Wayne Rooney, but I think Sturridge has the guile and the pace to play in a wide area, whether it is with Welbeck or Lallana. Stick more Rooney through the middle. If it doesn't work, I think then you can criticise him. But you think the criticism has been over the top?
I think it has been for the City game purely because of the position he was played in. It was confusing why Hodgson had done it. He knew Rooney was under pressure and to play him out of position. I think the players that we've seen thrive so far, your Van Persie's, Neymar's, Messi last night, second half, they're played in their natural position. I mean, if you put Van Persie on the left for Holland, he's not going to have the same impact, is he? Same with Neymar if you put him on the left for Brazil. I just thought it was bad management, and I'd play him through the middle. Probably, I like him centre forward, but I'd probably play him just off Sturridge, with certainly Sterling, and then take your pick from the likes of Welbeck, Lallana, players like that.
Barney, Rooney's obviously taken the brunt of the criticism, whether that's fair or unfair is open to debate. There's been a couple of other players. Leighton Baines had a very good season. Ashley Cole obviously didn't go to the tournament. Did you rate Leighton? I mean, did Leighton Baines struggle? Do you think it was a little bit too much for him in that atmosphere?
Yeah, well, I think he definitely did struggle. I think he was our worst player on the park. He didn't get any help from the players around him. I mean, Gerrard needed to give him more cover. Rooney and Welbeck, whoever was in that left role, needed to give him more cover. He was very isolated against Kandreva and Darmian, but he just had a poor game. I think he didn't deal with them. It was hard for him. He didn't really go forward because he was worried about the threat of those two coming forward because he'd been isolated all game. Personally, I would have taken Ashley Cole. I would have played him against Italy and Uruguay because I don't think there's many better defenders or big game players in England at the moment. I can't see how Ashley Cole would have been as dominated as Baines was down that wing. It's too late for that now. I think Baines had a pretty poor game. I think he was the worst player for us.
Pascal, another one who's gone under the radar somewhat is Steven Gerrard. Obviously, he's a fantastic captain for Liverpool, driving force last season. There's no doubt about that. But do you think there was enough riling for him? There was enough digging people out? I mean, Tim Sherwood said when Tottenham lost to Chelsea last season that he wanted to see people digging someone out on the pitch. You know, it can't always come from the management. It's got to come from other people. Gerrard was... I didn't see him ruffling any feathers. I didn't see him driving people on. Do you think his performance was good, or if it wasn't good, do you think it gone under the radar a little bit because he's Steven Gerrard?
Oh yeah, he was definitely one of our worst performers. I think being the captain, all the experience he's got to lead that team, and he wasn't really a leader. The leaders became players like Sterling, who really grabbed the game by the horns. Gerrard was quiet, and it was just a really odd decision in the second half to take Henderson on and keep Gerrard on. You've got to start Gerrard, of course, he's our captain. You have to. But if he is getting tired and not influencing the game like he should, take him off and bring Wilshere on, because Henderson still had so much energy. He looked sprightly, and there was no reason to take Henderson off, I thought. Bring Wilshere and Henderson on. That's a dynamic midfield in the second half. They should both have energy. They're both young. I think that's how it should go in the next game.
Liam, Glenn Johnson and Leighton Baines, we spoke about Leighton Baines, didn't have the best of games, but it's probably widely accepted they will play in the next game. Probably will be Henderson and Gerrard again. For you, would it be a 4-2-3-1 again, or is there a case of maybe sticking another midfielder in the middle of the park to try and dominate the ball against Uruguay? Because they showed against Costa Rica that they gave the ball away too much. Obviously, they've got Suarez back now. Would you try and move an extra player in there, and maybe, obviously, you'd have to take... Lallana didn't start, maybe he wouldn't start then, but would you play 4-3-3?
I see the argument, but at the same time, I think they're at this stage now. They've played this way for quite a while. They've played this formation. It's too late to change, and they should get more of the ball anyway against Uruguay than they did against Italy. Yeah. With Pirlo, Verratti, and De Rossi, it's hard for a lot of teams to get the ball. I would stay the same formation. I'd stay with Henderson and Gerrard for now, and then further forward, I'd play Sterling wide. I'd bring in Lallana, harshly dropping Danny Welbeck because I thought he was very good first half. Second half, he was a little bit more quiet before he was substituted, and then I'd be playing Rooney off Sturridge. But it's too late now for me to be changing that formation.
Bonnie, Liam mentions Danny Welbeck. He took a lot of criticism, didn't he, prior to the tournament? Some people say he shouldn't be in the squad. He's been made. I thought he played really well. I thought he offered them something different. He's obviously got pace. He was strong. Do you think he'll play? And if he doesn't play, who would you bring in instead of him?
Well, I think he's first in line to be dropped in Hodgson's eyes. For me, he had a very, very good game. I'm not a fan of Welbeck, really. I think he's pretty average, but he was really good. He tends to be good for England. He was really good against Italy, closing the ball down. He was better off the ball than he was on it, but you needed that against Italy, really. I think, for me, he would start. For me, I'd drop Rooney and bring in Barkley. A bit more thrust in the midfield. But, yeah, I think Hodgson might take the decision to drop Welbeck.
Pascal, obviously, looking ahead the Uruguay game, it's important to win. Maybe the fact that Uruguay lost their first game, it obviously would have been a lot worse if Uruguay had won, because then Uruguay and Italy would have been a lot stronger in the group. Do you still share the view that we will get through the group? Do you think we'll beat Uruguay?
Yeah, I think we definitely can. I mean, even if we lose to Uruguay, lose our first two games, we can still go through, because if Italy win all theirs, then us, Costa Rica and Uruguay are going to finish all on 3 points. It'll be down to goal difference. So if we lose maybe by 1 goal to Uruguay and then beat the Costa Ricans by 2, we can still go through. The Uruguayans weren't convincing at all against Costa Rica. Maybe they underestimated them a bit, and they're sure to bring their A game, more likely to bring their A game against us, especially if Suarez returns. But I mean, defensively, they didn't look great. Obviously, they've lost Maxi Pereira to suspension now, and with our exciting forwards, we should hopefully be able to exploit that. I mean, Godin is a great defender, but Lugano, he's a suspect.
Yeah, horror show. Yeah.
And I think we can definitely exploit the Uruguayans, and hopefully our defence is sound enough to deal with those Suarez and Cavani up front.
Liam, Pascal mentions that Uruguay probably underestimated Costa Rica. They're not going to underestimate England. I think that's fair to say. Both teams, obviously, they don't have to win, but it's very important not to lose that game. Do you think it's going to be? Do you think a draw for both teams? Do you think they'd accept that and go into the last game, try and beat Costa Rica, or do you think England have got to go for the win in that game?
I think it's essential that they win. I get what Pascal's saying about the goal difference if they were to lose, but for me, the loser goes home. Yeah. You can't lose your first 2 games in a World Cup group and go through. I just can't see it happening. And I think hopefully they will see more ball against Uruguay than they did against Italy. With the attacking players that they've got, they can exploit their defensive weaknesses. I know England have got their own defensive problems as well, and obviously Uruguay have got some very good attacking talent, but England got every chance of winning that game, definitely. And it's a game they have to win.
Have to win.
Yeah.
Finally, obviously looking at Luis Suarez, who's going to be back for that game. He's obviously a fabulous player. Whether he's fit enough, he's probably going to start because they need to win. Do you think we've got defensive capabilities to deal with those two up front? Obviously, they've got a lot of good players. Mensah's got in, for me, last season, best centre-back in Europe. Do you think England got enough? Do you think they'll be good enough or experienced enough to dig a result out of that game? It might not be the best game to watch, but you have to dig results out, don't you, sometimes? You have to go head-to-head with someone and battle someone for a result. Do you think that's...
Well, I think that's what Italy did against England, to be honest. I think they're more streetwise than us. I think we need to learn that because we're still in an inexperienced squad. I think Uruguay probably at the moment have that ability more than us. If our defenders, if Suarez and Cavani are on form, I don't think there's many defenders that can deal with them. Certainly not ours, because ours is pretty suspect. But Cahill's used to playing against Suarez. He's played against him a few times last season. He knows how to deal with them. Obviously, Gerrard will be giving them tips from Liverpool days. It all depends on how the Uruguay attack performs, really. If Suarez is fully fit and firing, which he might not be, having not come on against Costa Rica, then we could be in trouble. But I'm backing us to. I think it might be quite a high-scoring game because both defences are quite dodgy. But yeah, I'm backing us to win that game.
What's your score prediction for that game?
I would probably say 3-2 England.
3-2 England.
Yeah.
I'm slightly more pessimistic, to be fair. I think it will be a tight game, but I think Uruguay will come up on top 2-1. What's your prediction for that, Pascal?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure like our defence is so suspect. You say that. I mean, I think we got outdone by 2 brilliant goals against Italy. I mean, Cahill is a world-class defender. I thought Jagielka actually shone more than Cahill against Italy. I thought Jagielka was brilliant.
Good header off the line, didn't he?
Balotelli should never have scored from there. Jagielka knew that. He positioned himself well, cleared it off the line. I mean, I think obviously Johnson hasn't been great. Like I say, Baines didn't have a good game, but Jagielka and Cahill, it is a good centre-back partnership for me. And I think they hopefully can at least quieten Suarez and Cavani down and just hope that our attack can just blitz Uruguay down the other end. And I fancy us to nick it 3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
What do you think then, that game?
I think I'm going to sit on the fence, and I think it'll be a score draw. I think
draw.
both teams are suspect at the back. They've both got frailties there, and in midfield, especially where sort of England concerned, I think there's a bit of a lack of energy. And I'm going to score draw, which probably helps neither side.
So very quickly, do England go through?
No.
Bonnie?
Yeah.
Of course.
It's no for me, unfortunately. That's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again soon.